I are joined by PJ Leonard. Thank you very much, PJ, for joining us. And when you talk, be sure to talk really close into the mic. There you go. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
You must be off a big high right now.
No, I'm very stressed. When you do a movie and you're in production, you're not on a high. In pre-production, you're on a high. In post-production, you're on a high.
Tell us a little.
Production is stress.
Yeah, no kidding. Production and coordination and all that kind of stuff is stressful, and I believe, great article written on you with Lindsay Norris, and you guys working real well together to hopefully alleviate some of that kind of stress for permitting and logistics and that kind of stuff. But no matter how you slice it, you're always up against a budget. You're always up against investors. You're always up against creative. You're always up against time. You're always up, But tell us a little bit about what you're doing. Tell us a little bit about The Messenger.
Hey, talk closer to the mic when you do answer.
Tell us what's going on here in
There
Tampa,
you
what
go.
you're doing, what you're bringing to us, because we appreciate you being here.
Well, originally, last year, I was at the Gasparilla Film Festival, and I won the Audience Award. And they asked me, would I ever try to come down to Tampa and film? So I said, sure. I said, I'd give it a shot. And here I am. So
there we go.
Well, because you're originally from Jersey City. How does the film industry in Jersey City and Tampa compare to each other?
You can't compare it because Jersey City is basically like the 6th borough of Manhattan. I literally live less than a mile under the tunnel, and I'm in Manhattan. So Jersey City is considered, Manhattan industry.
Right.
Whereas
So then you can't compare because we're comparing Tampa
you can't
with New
compare
York
because
City?
when you're in Jersey City, it's a New York atmosphere.
Right.
Sopranos was filmed in New York, also in Jersey City. Oz was filmed there. So everything from the New York area is also shot in Jersey City.
But we're doing pretty well here in the Tampa Bay market, wouldn't you say?
I think it's young, and I think it has a lot of potential. But I think what you need behind you is private equity.
Of course, you need investors for some cash.
You have the people down here that definitely want to do it. We're associated on this project with the School of Design and Technology, and also with UT. And the children that come to work for us as PAs, you can see it in their eyes. These kids are working for free.
There's
and
a
they want it. They're
desire,
hungry.
sure.
Exactly. The hunger is there. But in order to do projects more like a higher level than my own right now, I'm at what they call a modified low budget agreement. So my budget is $625,000. But if you looked at my cast and my crew, you wouldn't know that because I have a lot of personal favors that I called in.
Of course.
How The Messenger? What was the budget on that one?
$625,000.
That's what he's talking about.
So
yeah.
that one was $625,000. Who were your investors, or did you have somebody
Well,
helping
basically,
you?
it's just one gentleman. Originally, we thought that we might be able to try to get some influence down here, but that never panned out. But I already committed myself to do it, and I didn't want to back away from it. Because I do believe there's a strong possibility for bigger movies to come down here. And the only way you're going to get them to come down here is if they see what you can do for a small amount, and then hopefully grow from there.
You get a lot of pats on the back for bringing independent filmmaking here and modified low budget or whatever you called it. To me, for a lot of people that are hopeful movie filmmakers, a $625,000 budget would blow their doors. You're talking about people that are producing films here on favors, borrowed stuff, borrowed time, and $1,500 so they can, possibly feed the crew when they're shooting for 3 days to shoot a 20-minute short or something like that. So
locally, I've received a lot of support as far as locations. Obviously, some locations you give donations depending on where you're at.
Of course.
Others came for free. But a lot of the actors that came in from either New York or Los Angeles are doing this at a scale that when people wouldn't believe, like $268 a day. That's not the normal scale, but at this level it is. But two gentlemen that are basically, the pillars of this movie. Well, the first one is Mark Margolis. People would know him from Scarface. He was in Pi. He was in Equalizer. He was in Oz. He's got like 6 pages of resume. And the other gentleman is Oba Babatunde, who was a Tony nominee for the original Dreamgirls. He was an Emmy nominee for a TV movie on HBO called Miss Evers' Boys. He's the father on Half and Half, which is the black sitcom on UPN. And he also has 5 pages of resume.
PJ, I'm glad you're bringing it up.
Wow, that's fantastic. I got to tell you, that's very impressive. You start bringing, they have to respect you, the directors, and the whole operation you guys are bringing down in order to be able to want to work for 266 or 265 for that's not even scale if you're looking. I think that's like half scale.
At level.
You're talking about people that believe in what you're doing. And that speaks volumes for the end of the day when the production goes into post and you start making things happen and get it out there to launch it, because they're going to be your biggest advocates out there trying to get it, publicity on it and that kind of stuff. Right. Do you have any kind of deal now set in motion for straight to DVD, a web release, theatrical release?
I think this movie, I don't think it's a theatrical release, but definitely a VOD, a DVD release is definitely possible. We will have a teaser probably by the end of this week, and we will send out to Los Angeles and into New York so people could start viewing it.
Wow.
And I do believe, after seeing what I've seen so far, that there's going to be a bidding war.
You mentioned some of the talent that you have working on the film. What about crew? Is it local crew? Is it a local post-production company?
We do have a mixture of L.A., Tampa, and New York. We have them behind the camera and in front of the camera. We have one of the young kids that's starring in the movie. His name is John Dominici, and he's a Tampa Bay resident.
Oh, wow.
He was also in the movie Stay. We have another gentleman, Michael Gonzalez, who is also a local gentleman, and he's going to be in the movie.
Are those all talent? What about crew? Do you have PAs and?
Well, we have PAs from UT, PAs from School Design and Technology. A couple of our gaffers are now our local, because we brought gaffers down from New York, but they had to go back to other projects. So we have some gaffers that we hired down here.
Who's posting the project for you, or where was it posted?
We take that back home.
You take it back home?
The gentleman who's editing it, we're actually editing right now. We have him located in St. Pete, but we brought him in from L.A. He worked on Troy. He worked on Bratz, and he also worked on Harry Potter.
Now, I have to agree with Rob. Those are some pretty talented people that you mentioned, and the respect that you must have for you is phenomenal. So congratulations to you. What's your biggest hope for Messenger? Like, if you can,
well, obviously to sell it.
Sure.
Because we want our money back.
Right on, and to make a little extra, maybe.
I want to use the Messenger as a tool, and it was always the original plan to use it as a tool to hopefully set a fire under some people in Tampa, obviously big money people, to hopefully say, okay, this could happen. This could be another industry.
Right.
And then hopefully it could trickle down. I was talking to the people from UT and the School Design and Technology. It's great to have their kids involved. But you can offer, if you get something going on a regular basis, you can offer something to the high school students, which in any big city, you have areas which need something.
Sure.
They don't know what's out there unless you bring it to them. So this is one way to bring it to them.
Can you give us a little 60 seconds on the film and what it's about and some of the locations you've had most fun shooting at? Sure. Maybe just a little bit of rundown.
The message is based on the character Moran, and Moran had a rough life growing up, and when he was growing up, his father basically represented evil and his mother represented good, and she was a church-going woman where his father wasn't. He was basically a miserable man, and then as he got older, the mother and the father was taken over by a priest, Father Emmanuel, who became the good in his life, and a gentleman named Asa, who is the bad in his life. And Asa is portrayed by Mark Margolis, and Oba Babatunde portrays Father Emmanuel. And it shows how he fights his inner demons, and then eventually
succumbs and overpasses those demons.
Oh, so it's kind of
a thriller. There's a lot of murder,
a lot of character development, and a lot of character development, and Tampa location-wise.
Location-wise, we used the aquarium.
Yeah.
We actually had a girl in the tank in the aquarium.
Yeah, the tank girl. Sure. Yeah.
We had Sacred Heart Church. We shot at the Cuban Club.
Beautiful. I heard about that. You renovated that to a poker room or something.
You were using it Saturday morning, I understand.
We actually used it 2 sets. We used downstairs as a poker room, and then upstairs we used it as a bar. Right. So we have 2 locations out of 1.
Yeah, that's great.
I think that's wonderful, PJ. We're running out of time, but give us quickly some contact information, and in 30 seconds, what's next for you?
Well, what's next for me is a movie.
Resting.
What was that?
I said resting.
That's definite. But there's a movie that we're working on right now called Dilio 2050. And it's based on the children's culture nowadays and what it will be in 250.
Wonderful. And your website?
Man, that's visionary.
We will have a website for the film. It's going to be called messengerthefilm.com.
And it's coming soon.
Messengerthefilm.com.
PJ, thank you very much.
You're
Rob
welcome.
and I were enchanted by our conversation. This is wonderful. The people that you have on your show were amazing. So good luck to you.